Hey, sup dude? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is a film I've been looking forward to seeing for a while now. Since Into the Spider-Verse in 2018, we've been getting a lot more animated films like this that have been doing their own kind of unique style, and based on the trailers for this film, it looked like it was going to be in that same kind of ballpark. Something to note is that I'm a very casual TMNT fan. As a kid, I watched this TMNT movie from 2007, I dabbled in some of the cartoons that were released on Nickelodeon, and a few years ago I played that Shredder's Revenge game that came out, and I had a fun time with that for a bit. So I was excited to see this film, but I wasn't like going nuts over it. I am happy to report that this new TMNT movie is really good. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but this is probably my favorite TMNT film, and it's straight up one of the best animated films of the year, right next to Across the Spider-Verse and Nimona. The most exciting part of this film for me was surprisingly the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themselves. Based on the trailers, I thought the vibrant animation would steal the show for me, but I really loved how the Turtles were handled in this film. For the first time ever, they make these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles act like teenagers, and I loved it. The voice actors for the Turtles are all teenagers, and they were given the freedom to improv and throw some slang only teenagers today would understand. They would use the word Riz in a line, and the filmmakers were like, "Okay, that was great. Can you explain to us what the hell a Riz is?" They're constantly funny and pop a lot of jokes and pop culture references most teens or young adults will understand. Personally, I'm a 21-year-old, so I stopped being a teenager a minute ago, but I understood most of what they were saying. Even if you aren't in this age group, I don't think the film will alienate you. You can still laugh and have a good time with these characters. I also loved how they were dealing with some struggles that you go through while being a teenager. The desire to explore the world and become more independent, minus all the ninja stuff, of course. It was some good stuff. To my knowledge, the kids that play the Turtles are mostly new actors, but this film has an all-star cast of people that play everyone but the Turtles. This film has Ice Cube, Io Debris, Paul Rudd, John Cena, Post Malone, Seth Rogen, and plenty of other recognizable faces. Hell, what surprised me the most in this film is that Seth Rogen doesn't do his famous laugh. I'm not joking, he does in like every goddamn movie he's in, but I think he held back this time and just played Bebop. That's insane. The animation style in this film does look like Spider-Verse on the surface, but it does have its own unique flavor. The art style in this film looks like something a 5 or 8-year-old would draw. The humans are all ugly and funky. I swear you won't find a single somewhat good-looking person in this movie. When explosions go off, a burst of orange and yellow lines that look like they came from crayons fill the screen. The city in this film looks absolutely disgusting, and all these choices come together and make this art style belong in a TMNT story. Speaking of the story, I thought it was overall pretty fun. I think it's a bit too cliche, but it was very charming to sit through, and it didn't annoy me too much. It is a coming-of-age story that really felt like it was coming from a teenage point of view. I like how we have started to stray away from movies like Spider-Man 2002, where the teenagers in that film are like 30 years old and don't act like high schoolers at all. I've appreciated that over the years we've been getting films that actually understand that time in life and bring it to the screen in a relatable and authentic way. One thing that kind of bothered me in this film is that I feel like they underused the mutants. A good chunk of them I have never heard of, and a few of them are some of the most iconic TMNT villains out there, and I feel like they kind of wasted them in this film. Overall, the change in their characters did work for the story, but I don't know how I really feel about that decision right now. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem was a refreshing film for this long-running franchise. It does take some inspiration from recent animated films, but it ends up becoming its own thing. On top of all that, you get the most out of the teenage part of the TMNT than I have ever seen this series tackle. This film did tease a possible sequel in the works, and I will definitely be seated for that when it arrives. At some point. It's probably going to be a while. This stuff takes a minute to animate. So I'm going to be giving Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem a 4 out of 5.